Hey everybody, it's me, Will, and I'm here live with another recording of Guide to the Unknown. You may notice there's no one sitting over there, and there's a very simple answer for that. I have initiated a complete and total takeover of Guide to the Unknown. I am no longer satisfied with being half of the equation. I am no longer satisfied with being the little brother of the production. Now I'm in charge, and things are going to be a little different around here from now on. No more ghosts, no more spooky stuff. This is officially a podcast all about pizza. I like pizza quite a bit. We're going to start with toppings. What are the best? What are the worst? I'm going to get into agonizing detail about all of it. I'm just kidding. Kristen's notes didn't work, so she had to run home to find a backup. So we're going to hang out for a little bit. Kristen's going to go home. She's going to get her computer, and then we'll be in good shape to jump off. What's up, Tina, Miss Sweetie, Megan? Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me. It's just going to be a little bit for Kristen to run home. She lives literally 4 or 5 blocks away, something like that. It's not going to take very long. But I figured I'd go live and hang out with everybody in the meantime. And maybe I can also take this opportunity to share links and stuff and get that out of the way so that the second Kristen rolls up, we can just start the show. So, what are you all up to? What's been going on in your own individual universes? Have you been doing any spooky stuff? See any good movies? In America, we just had Thanksgiving last week. How was your Thanksgiving? Did you use the break to get into any mischief? Hey, Tabitha. Hey, Michelle. Kristen is just running home to get her notes, and then she's going to come over and we're going to start the show. I can tell you that I saw Knives Out, the Rian Johnson whodunit murder mystery movie. And after hearing about how great it is, I've been really, really looking forward to it. And then, Kristen saw it and reported back to me that she saw it, she gave it a thumbs up, but she didn't like it as much as she expected she would, which was the best thing I could possibly hear, because then it primed me to go into the movie with lowered expectations. And the end result is that I walked out severely impressed. I loved Knives Out. It might be one of my favorite movies of the year. Hell, it might be one of my favorite mystery movies ever made. I absolutely loved Knives Out. So I'm going to tell you all that it sucked so that you'll go in with lowered expectations so you'll have as good a time as I did. I think that's the key. Go into movies with lowered expectations. You're going to have a ball. A ball! Hey, Mom. Is Chris under the table? No, she's not hiding. She's not sneaking around. Kristen forgot her notes. She's running home to get them. Well, she didn't forget them. She was not able to access her notes, so she needs an alternate way in with her laptop. G. David, first-time watcher, welcome. Welcome to the party. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hello, Dana. Megan says, I just finished watching Hill House. I actually really liked it. It was different. Hill House. Now, Hill House is also one of my favorite things of the year. I absolutely loved The Haunting of Hill House. I think it's one of the best ghost stories I've ever experienced. It's wonderful. Hey, Taylor, I just gave a massive presentation to my city council on suicide and self-harm as part of my university project and how improvements could be made on visibility. That's amazing. Well done. I hope it went well. That's hugely important. That's incredible. I hope you feel very good of yourself for doing that. That's a scary thing to do, and well done. Well done for doing it. Michelle loved Knives Out. And so did Dana. I thought Knives Out was wonderful. I thought it was incredibly funny. I thought it was incredibly clever. I think that it was clearly respectful of the tropes of whodunit stories and murder mysteries, and still found a way to have something new, a new twist on the genre that was honestly just really well done. I thought it was really, really, really well done. Megan says, now's a perfect time for Kristen to jump up for a jump scare. No, there's nothing. Sorry, I thought it would happen too. You were right. It occurred to me that the rhythms were exactly correct for a jump scare. You do the 1. You do the 2. On the count of 3, you think there's going to be nothing. But then, no Kristen. The biggest scare of all is no Kristen. What is happening? How is it possible? I simply don't know. I simply don't know. If I had to guess, Kristen is probably leaving her house now and getting back in the car to come here. Taylor says, I'm an adrenaline mess, but I've been suggested to turn that research into I don't know what an FYP is, but you can turn it into an FYP once you hit 4th year. Well done. So that means you did a good job. Congratulations. And I hope that's a payoff to all your hard work. Michelle asks, am I a Star Wars person? Have I been watching The Mandalorian? I would not have said I'm a Star Wars person. Probably up until, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago. I like Star Wars just fine. I consider it like a cultural event now to go see a Star Wars movie. Quite frankly, I love that almost every December for the last few years there's been a new Star Wars movie. It feels like a tradition. It feels very enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to seeing The Rise of Skywalker in just a few weeks. But I also just don't care about Star Wars that much. I enjoy it just fine, but I don't love it. And then I watch The Mandalorian, and I kind of love it. I think it's an awesome show, and all those Baby Yoda memes are, for one, unavoidable. 2, thank God I'm not sick of it. I think it's great. I really, really, really love The Mandalorian. And it's got me now. I've been digging back into Star Wars history. I watched A New Hope for the first time in a long time. The last time I watched A New Hope, I remember just thinking, how long is this movie? How much more bored can I possibly get before it ends? And then this time it was just kind of innocuous. I was really looking forward to rewatching Empire Strikes Back. I got a year of Disney Plus for free because of Verizon. And I watched Empire Strikes Back, and it was white noise. I didn't even really pay attention to it, and I kind of regret having done that. Hey, you have to do a jump scare.
What?
People want you to do a jump scare.
On you?
Because they think you've been hiding this whole time.
Oh. If only.
Yeah. But I really love The Mandalorian, and I'm kind of excited to rewatch the rest of the Star Wars movies in advance of the new one. How did that happen? Who did that? Oh my God. It's her. It's back.
It's back.
The curse is upon us once more. It's Chrissy.
Just as you always knew it would be.
Hey, Chrissy.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi,
guys.
Was that a mad dash?
It was no, I didn't mad dash too bad.
Okay.
I wasn't going slow, but I didn't lose my mind or anything.
All right, fair enough.
I sat down and checked to make sure the notes were on here.
Oh, so you do have them.
Yes.
All right, great.
I don't know why they didn't go on my my phone like usual.
I don't know.
Hi, guys.
Must have been a syncing issue. Taylor says, Will just ruined the jump scare.
Oh,
How was I going to cue her to do a jump scare without telling her to do a jump scare?
You should have found a way.
Life finds a way.
That's true.
Can everybody hear Kristen?
Yeah,
All
can you
right,
guys
we
hear me
weren't able to
okay?
do a sound check before. But I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. We are live on.
Yeah. Baby.
Let's talk
Post on
about
Instagram as well.
axe murders and a haunted house. I said I was going to take this time to do all the posting so that you could roll up and we could just do the show, but
You got to talking.
I forgot how fast time flies when I just start talking.
Yeah, when you don't shut the hell up.
You were only gone for
fast
like,
time flies.
do you know how long it took you to do all that?
No. Did you chime in?
Less than 10 minutes.
Oh, good.
That was very fast.
What a joy.
That was
I
very
love living
impressive.
so close.
Very, very impressive.
Thank you.
So yeah, I still have to do the posting.
I hope you guys are good.
Yeah, Taylor did a great job. Taylor gave a massive presentation to her city council on suicide and self-harm as part of a university project, and did so well that they suggested that maybe it could be her final year project as a thesis
That's awesome.
because she did so well.
That's great. Well done, Taylor.
Bam.
She says that she can hear me, but I'm quieter than Will,
Really?
and that usually it's the opposite.
Let me, everybody shut up and let me do an audio test. But I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, we are live on.
Yeah. Baby.
Let's talk
Post on
about
Instagram as well.
axe murders and a haunted House. I said I was going to take this time to do all the posting so that you could roll up and we could just do the show, but
You got to talking.
I forgot how fast time flies when I just start talking.
Yeah, when you don't shut the hell up.
Pretty good,
Yeah, me too.
to be honest. I
Yeah.
think it sounds fine. Out of sync again? I had to unplug all of the equipment for Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Let me see if I can make a quick change. Let's see. Did it default to being gigantic? What happened? Little, shrinky. Whoop, bing. Is that better?
Okay, let's see.
Please let us know. Everybody's confirming that it's out of sequence.
Okay.
The levels, the audio levels that I'm detecting seem fine.
Yeah.
Especially because we're recording to like a little fancy boy.
Right.
So I don't know. Foul-mouthed New Englander. Yo, what's up? Thank you for joining.
Hey.
Yeah, it seems jittery, a little stuttery. Way more out of sync than it's ever been.
Oh boy.
Says Taylor. My God.
My
God. Unacceptable.
Did the turkey require an audio sacrifice? Yes.
Yes,
The
it
turkey
did.
was actually stuffed with wires this year.
Stuffed with wires. Stuffed with wires.
Michelle says way better. Hey, Michelle.
Detect. Blah, blah, blah. I just changed a bunch of stuff that I think might technically make the image worse, but
Okay, everybody's...
better. Did Dear David require an audio sacrifice? He did.
Yes.
He did. It was just unavoidable.
He did.
Yeah. AKB. Yo. Taylor says it's good now. All right. I'm happy.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all very much. So, I shared on my own personal stuff.
Okay.
I didn't do anything else.
Okay.
It's too easy for me to just talk. I told everybody that you liked Knives Out, but you didn't love it.
Oh, wait.
Yes?
No. Michelle's saying it's kind of freezing or something.
Freezing. Frozen. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. That's what you are.
Oh, Candy Cyber. Did we meet you at the Podtails Festival? Is that the same person?
Say what?
Candy Sniper 015 is foul-mouthed New Englander.
Oh, Candy Sniper.
I think so, right?
Candy Sniper. I'm gonna look you up right now. Candy Sniper 015. Oh,
Right? Yep.
yeah.
That's what I thought. Hey,
Yo, what's happening?
Thanks for coming. It's
Welcome.
live.
Welcome to the live show. Not frozen again. Is it frozen? It got better?
Huh.
Maybe it's just jittery. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? Ever? Bit rate. Yo, don't call yourself a nerd. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Recommended bit rate of 45,000. Okay. So, then what? Can I just copy this? Copy. Let me just try one last thing.
Sure.
Then we'll just get started. We'll just start the show. Apply. Okay. I don't know. I just changed something. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, a few people are saying that we might be all right. I say we just launch into it, and we'll have to just deal with the whatever repercussions come our way.
The movie Frozen. That's funny. All right, I'm going to blow my nose away from the thing.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you for doing us that huge
I'm just
favor.
explaining.
Ah.
That wasn't in the thing, right?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so. I'm sure they heard it, but yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay.
I think you're A-okay.
Okay. All right. I'm ready to go.
I'm too.
You're going to go first, right?
Yep.
Because you're going to give all the background. All right, everybody. We're going to start the show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you are interested in sharing this to get other people in here or helping us spread the word, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Were you singing Unforgettable before I got here?
No, it was just 2 seconds ago.
Oh.
I think
Oh,
I was
when
saying something.
Let's blow my nose, maybe. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's do the show.
Okay, do we need 5 seconds of silence?
Do you think I didn't already do it?
Oh my God. Okay, let's start
Actually,
the show.
we probably should because I started re-recording over here.
Okay, yeah, I thought I saw
All right, so
that.
everybody shut up for 5 seconds. Done.
Okay.
I've been working on a pitch for a show that I call Ghost Boy. And the intro...
I've heard this pitch like 8 times in the 2 minutes I was here before I had to leave again.
The intro is... there are many mysteries in the beyond. There are even more in the near. I'm Ghost Boy, and this is Ghost Boy. And then a drone flies up, and that's my ghost hunting show.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't have any siblings.
What?
I say that on the show. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm cut out of Ghost Boy?
Yeah, you're not
But
in
I'm Ghost Girl.
Boy. Yeah, you're not in Ghost Boy, though.
Well, it's going to tank then. Good luck.
The producer said that they couldn't pay you. I'm the producer.
Good luck with Ghost Boy then. All right. Here we go.
We're ready.
Yep. Hello. Welcome to Guides the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her brother, William.
And this week we're going to talk about the haunting of the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Yeah, a true crime case that now is considered to be a paranormal event.
Exactly. Before we get into that, I just want to mention that you can follow the show at GTTUpod on all social media. The show comes out every Friday. And you can also go to patreon.com/GTTUpod to get an extra podcast episode every month if you donate $4 or more per month.
Yeah, it also unlocks all the stuff that's already there.
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of bonus stuff already waiting for you.
So if you want to watch Kristen and I do paranormal investigations of our own, if you want to hear our previous podcast conversations, those are all waiting for you. So go check that out.
That's right. All right, so we are going to launch into the story of the Villisca Axe Murder House. Did you know anything about this before we decided to look into it?
No, not at all. I only, we watched the other night for your birthday, which I don't think got mentioned on this show.
No,
was
it
Kristen's
didn't.
birthday. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Chrissy.
Thank you.
We watched Demon House.
Yep.
A Zak Bagan's documentary on which he mentions having done other paranormal investigations, such as
Right.
the Villisca House.
Yes.
And I think you and I both immediately wrote that down.
Sat up a little straighter.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Our ears perked up. There's another Zak Bagan's thing. We've got to do it.
Definitely.
But prior to that, absolutely not. Never heard of it.
I think I had heard the name. I think I also get it mixed up with like the Visalia ransacker, who it turned out that the Golden State Killer was. That was like an unsolved case in California.
Right.
So the name is close enough that I think they mushed together for me a little bit, but I did not know this story in depth whatsoever. Aside, but that's still in the GTTU world, how did you feel about Demon House on second viewing?
Oh,
Did
my
you have
God.
any new musings with now a little bit deeper of an understanding of Zak Bagan's? Because when we first watched that, like, you know, a year ago or whatever, we had both never seen any Zak Bagan's joints.
No.
Now, in the interim, I've seen more than you because I watch Ghost Adventures on the reg, but you've started watching a little bit too. So how did that color watching Demon House for you this time?
It was even funnier.
Yeah.
So Demon House is, I think it's technically, I don't even know if it's called like a Ghost Adventures.
No, it's not Ghost Adventures.
It's not at all part of that franchise.
No.
So it's Zak Bagan's doing an investigation, a documentary about the history of this house that's said to be full of ghosts and everything.
Chock full.
And I remember the first time I saw it with you thinking, this is psychotic. This
Right.
is crazy. But some of the things that we made fun of at the time, I have been second guessing in the previous year. So at some point in Demon House, which you can watch online, I think it's on Amazon Prime
Yep, it is.
now, Zak Bagan's at one point pretends to be possessed.
Right.
And he kind of does like almost like a two for flinching kind of move at
Yes.
somebody.
Yeah.
He like
He does a
jukes at
couple of
them.
those things.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then he like catches himself to make sure that he won't attack people because he's full of ghosts.
Yeah, he's holding the rage back.
And then there's a man named Taffy who's
Well,
investigating.
it's Taff.
It's
Dr.
Taff.
Barry Taff.
Dr. Barry
Dr.
Taff.
Bear Taffy.
Dr. Bear Taffy is going through the house, and then there's almost a jump. This is how I remember it.
Yeah.
There's almost a jump cut from him investigating the house to him in a hospital bed talking about his organs shutting down one by
I
one.
don't think it's quite a jump cut, but
It's very close. It's very close. And in the year it's been since I saw that and made fun of it, I've been like feeling bad for making fun of that moment. And like, I remember being like, well, Dr. Barry, I remember making fun of him and going like, yeah, I went into the demon house and now my organs don't work. And then
Yeah.
I started feeling guilty for making that joke. So I was prepared to feel extra guilty watching it again to see the misery that this guy goes through.
yeah.
It's exactly how I remembered it.
Exactly as I remembered it too. He's like, they're just shutting down. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's like the lights turning off.
He's talking about his organs shutting down so casually.
As if it's not a big deal.
Right.
He's in a hospital bed talking to the camera. He's just like, yeah, the doctors don't understand. He seems perfectly fine, which is weird.
Great. He looks the best he's ever been.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, it's inexplicable. My organs are shutting off ever since I went to the demon house. And so it's just like, my mind is like incompatible with what I'm seeing. I'm like emotionally completely disconnected from it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was absolutely wonderful to watch. What a spectacle to behold.
What a spectacle to behold, indeed.
Everybody needs to watch it. Tell us
Yeah.
if we're crazy about Dr. Bear Taffy. When Dr. Bear's organs shut off, listen, I'm going to take it at face value and assume that is something that is really happening to that man. And I hope he's
I don't think
well.
we
I hope he's
back
okay.
in on him. Yeah.
We did not do an update. So I don't want to mock his suffering.
Of course.
At the same rate, it was such a jarring development on the show.
Yeah. Well, the demon house had a very physical effect on them. Zak Bagan says that he started getting double vision after demon house.
He has to wear glasses with prisms in them.
Right, exactly.
Which I think are just literally pyramids of crystal in his lenses. The demon house does weird things to you.
It does, apparently. So, yeah, it was a joy, and thank you for watching that with me for my beautiful birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños.
All right, so as we said, he dropped the name, the Villisca Axe Murder House, in that, and so Will and I decided to look into it. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you what happened at this house that makes it the Axe Murder House, and then Will is going to go into the hauntings that are said to have happened there. So here's the backstory, and I got this from Wikipedia and VilliscaIowa.com, which seems to be like a passion project that somebody put together, and I'll get into a little bit of the interesting features of this website.
Oh, excellent.
A little bit later on. So here is the deal. In 1912, there was a family called the Moore family who lived there. It was a father and mother, Josiah and Sarah, and their kids' names were Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul. And they had two girls sleeping over at the house this night who were friends with Catherine, named Lena and Ina Stillinger. And they were all murdered overnight by an unknown assailant. You getting caught up by Lena and Ina?
Lena and Ina? Are
Unless
they
it's
twins?
like Lena. I don't think so.
Lena and Ina.
I know.
It's like when you have twins and you name them, like...
Eep and Jeep.
Yeah, Eep and Jeep. Mushy and Mashy.
Right, that kind of thing.
Beefy, can you go get Meaty? Two very similar names.
Exactly. We all know how this goes. So from the evidence, it seems like the killer may have waited in the attic for the family to go to sleep, because they found two fully smoked cigarettes in the attic. So it makes them kind of think that somebody was sitting up there and smoking and waiting, which is so scary.
It's very scary.
It reminds me of that book/movie Kiss the Girls. But in the movie, this doesn't happen. In the book, the killer is living in the walls of the house of a family before he kidnaps a girl.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Oddly enough,
Casanova.
Casanova. Allie and I are presently about to wrap up Along Came a Spider.
Oh, nice.
Which is also massively different from the movie.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you're wrapping up the book? You're listening to an audiobook or something?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Man, did they change the Alex Cross books massively for film?
Maybe. I guess so.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's what they think. And I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of the murder. It was an axe murder. You guys can look this up. There's a little bit more detail online, but they were all killed in their beds with an axe. Their neighbor Mary in the morning went to the house and knocked on the door because she noticed. And it's kind of sweet. It's just sort of that neighborly thing of the past, or maybe of some areas still. But she noticed that the family didn't come out to do their chores like they usually would. So she went to knock on the door and just see that everything is okay. My neighbors would have no idea that I had died for weeks.
Absolutely not. No, it would take somebody just being annoyed by me and being like, hey, just trying to be friendly. I noticed you haven't mowed your lawn in a few months. Can you...
I'm not
like crap.
Out and about doing a whole lot of chores. I've even found ways to not have to grocery shop at the store lately. So my neighbors would have no idea anything had happened.
Right.
So she went and checked it out, and she got no answer. So she let their chickens out for them, which is very nice.
That's nice.
That's kind of chores that they had back in the day, and called Josiah's brother Ross, who came. He unlocked the door, walked into the house. It was all quiet. Like, I can't imagine how weird that must have been. Like, because then it's not like you're like, oh, they probably like went out real quick or something. Like, it's a totally different time, so you'd expect they would be home. So he walked in. It's all quiet, I assume.
Well, also, like, think about all of these sort of unconscious signs of life that we put out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not a creak in the house. There's not the sounds of people, even like subtle things that you may not consciously be aware of, like the sounds of people breathing.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you walk
just
into the house and
complete silence. Like, not the creak of like somebody sitting on a chair or anything. Just like nothing is moving.
It's disturbing.
Totally. And he went and opened the guest bedroom door and saw Lena and Ina. Mm-hmm. And so he left and told Mary to call the sheriff. And then the sheriff came, and it seems like kind of all hell broke loose. So number one, so this crime is unsolved. We don't know who did it.
Yeah.
And that's down to a few things. First of all, they obviously didn't have the technology that we have today to, you know, for DNA and fingerprinting and things like that. But also, it seems like the scene was kind of mishandled because it said that like up to maybe 100 people walked all throughout the house, so all throughout the crime scene, before the Villisca National Guard finally came in and secured the area.
Villisca National Guard?
I know.
How did it work back
Maybe
then?
that's what they called the police station.
Maybe. I mean, we're talking, you said 1912? Mm-hmm. We're really like only just past like the Wild West days.
Right.
So you would maybe have like a sheriff?
Yes. They also on the Villisca, Iowa website, they said that he had her call the sheriff, or, you know, he told her to call the sheriff. On Wikipedia, it said she called the peace officer. So there might just be different language because of the time. So maybe the Villisca National Guard is your police squad or something like that. Idea. I'm not sure. But so people were like walking through, like looking at the dead bodies and stuff like that, which is crazy. And so it kind of like messed up the crime scene a little bit. So like I said, nobody was ever convicted, but there were a few suspects who were tried. And the Villisca site says that there are 3 main camps. There are actually even more suspects that you can go and look up if you want to. I don't want to get too true crimey with this. Obviously, I'm going to, talk about to set up what's going on, but I don't want to get into like the nitty gritty of everything. But there are 3 main camps that people seem to fall into as far as who they think is responsible. And I'll go into each of them. People think that either Senator Frank Jones hired somebody to do it, or it was Reverend George Kelly, or it was somebody from out of town, just a random traveling serial killer who kind of like happened upon a situation that they could use.
Really? You don't have an Andy in there, do you?
An Andy?
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. There are other suspects, but the Villisca website said that these are the 3 main camps that people fall into.
Right.
So Andy could very well be one of the other suspects.
Well, I got to tell you, if there are 3 possibilities back then, thank goodness Zak Bagans comes along because he whittles it down to 1.
Oh, perfect.
Zak Bagans basically finds out who the killer is.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
He does some fantastic work.
You know,
his investigation is thorough. It's thorough, and it is, there are a lot of revelations that come to light about the case.
Oh, good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, seriously, so there are a bunch of suspects listed on Wikipedia. They're even listed on this website too. And so Andy kind of rings a bell. I feel like I remember seeing a mugshot or something like that. But I decided to just cover the ones that this guy was like, these are the main thoughts that people have. So Andy might be number 4 on the list of possible scenarios or something.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. But so let me tell you about Frank Jones. So Frank Jones was a senator from Iowa, and he owned a store that Josiah, so the dad of the Moore family who was killed, worked at for a number of years before he left to open his own. And this is another vocabulary of the time thing, to open his own implement company. A hard store?
Hard store?
Hardware store?
His own implement company. Yeah, I'm thinking of selling implements.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of selling just generic terms.
Forks.
Fork.
Things like that. But I'm guessing hardware store partially because Frank Jones was, first of all, pissed that he left, and he was also pissed because he took the John Deere franchise with him away from Jones's store. So John Deere's like tractors and stuff like that. It's like, it's like the Home Depot of the day.
Yeah.
Plus, rumor had it that Josiah was having an affair with Jones's daughter-in-law, Donna or Dona?
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 Dona.
Yeah.
Dona.
I love donuts.
Yeah, can I have a donut with sprinkles?
I love a donut. So Frank Jones was never arrested himself, but the theory is that he hired somebody, namely William Mansfield.
Oh.
So let's talk about him. This guy is not my kind of guy.
No?
And it seems like there's a lot here that could point toward him being the killer, but
Yeah.
who knows? So, first of all, this guy, William Mansfield's wife, child, father, and mother-in-law were killed with an axe in Illinois 2 years after the Villisca House murders.
Oh.
And police connected another series of axe murders that were committed 3 days before the Villisca murders, as well as a double murder in Illinois, to Mansfield. So they said that he could have been at all of these places. All of them were easily accessible by train from where he lived. And they basically know that all the axe things seem to connect. They seem to have the same MO. One of them was his family.
Yeah.
So it seems like probably him. And then I didn't find information about what the deal is with the double murder, but the fact that they didn't specify, I don't know, it seemed like they separated that a little bit. Like that wasn't an axe. An axe wasn't the weapon. So I think that's a little bit of an outlier, but still, I think it's that they connected him to all these things.
It's crazy. Serial killers are scary.
Yeah.
The idea that you could kill someone with an axe and then be like, I got to do that again.
I know.
You know what I mean? First of all,
Yeah.
the horror of doing it once.
Yeah, totally.
But then to be like,
But to not be, and again, obviously, it's not letting it off the hook, but like, rather than being racked with regret or horror at
Yeah,
yourself,
right.
you're like, how could I do that again?
yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
I kind of miss doing that.
Yeah, it's freaky.
Terrifying.
It's very scary. So the way they connected the axe murders is that in each of the murders, the mirrors were covered up with fabric from the homes. And first I wrote red dragon much.
Yeah.
And then I said, wait, it's the opposite, because he actually smashed mirrors to put them on the eyeballs.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he wanted to see. He
wanted
wanted
to see
Mrs.
himself.
Leeds to look like she was alive, for there to be light in her eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Or to be reflecting himself
Yeah.
kind of in her eyes. So it's kind of the opposite, but
True.
still.
Covering the mirrors.
Yeah.
Such
'cause
a weird.
I not wanting to see yourself doing this, I guess. They also covered, they would draw all the curtains in the houses, and if there were windows that didn't have curtains, they took fabric or clothes or whatever from the home and put them on the windows to cover everything up.
Weird.
So they couldn't be seen from the outside. But yeah, they also did it on the mirrors.
Maybe they thought that mirrors were windows.
Maybe.
Maybe it was a bird.
It was probably a bird.
Did anyone think of that?
I don't know. Did Zach come up with that, or is that an original Ghost Boy thought?
That was an original Ghost Boy. I guarantee it.
You're getting canceled. It's a terrible thought.
You know how in the staircase they say maybe it was an owl? I think this might have also been a bird. Maybe birds are just modern dinosaurs.
True.
And dinosaurs have been a problem forever.
They really did. Dinosaurs have been very problematic, honestly.
Dinosaurs are problematic.
Anybody who's seen Jurassic Park knows.
Dinosaurs are the definition of problematic.
Oh, yeah. This should be. You know what? They're canceled.
Yeah, you're canceled.
They are canceled, actually.
Yeah, the show Dinosaurs got canceled.
Yeah.
Not the mama. Not on my TV.
Not for me. So that was the deal. It was a commonality that the mirrors were covered, and also a kerosene lamp with like the chimney thing off, so the glass thing that goes around a kerosene lamp, like the thing I have basically, was found at the foot of the beds at the houses.
Each one?
I don't think every single bed, but it was at least at some of the beds in each house.
Could that be something that you'd have to keep close by if you're living in those days? Like,
Well,
I
but I
want to
think
get up in the
it's-
middle of the night or before dawn. Or, hey,
No.
it's winter and the sun sets at 4 o'clock. I have to have my own
At the
kerosene
foot of
lantern.
your bed?
You put it there. That's where you keep it.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't they put it like next to their bed? Why would they put it at the foot of their bed where it's hard to like find and see? Plus, all of these families take the thing apart, basically. What's the reasoning?
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of links those murders together. So it seems like these axe murders, these 3 separate axe murders, were definitely committed by the same person. But was that person Mansfield?
Right.
Not sure. So he was arrested and the case was brought to a jury, but he was able to provide payroll info showing that he was in Illinois at the time of these murders, the Villisca murders in Iowa. He later sued the detective who was like after him, and he won.
Whoa.
But that detective, whose name is Wilkerson, and a lot of other people believe that Frank Jones was able to manipulate things behind the scenes because he was a senator
Because he was
to
so
cover
powerful.
his hitman's tracks.
Well, but what about this as a theory? Mansfield is just one of the last living survivors of a family
Right,
that was
right.
murdered by a serial killer who happened to murder other people as well. So does that make him the prime suspect?
Yeah, I
You know
don't.
what I mean? Like,
Right,
it seems weird.
right, but
It's like
I don't know.
arresting the family of one of Ted Bundy's victims.
Maybe. I mean, there may be more in-depth stuff than I'm covering at a glance. You know what I mean?
don't believe it.
Like who knows? But maybe.
Yeah.
Which would be messed up. Okay, now we move to Reverend George Kelly. So this guy was a British traveling preacher / creep. He was a peeper in windows, and he asked women and girls if he could take photos of them.
Oh.
This was a priest.
A traveling. This is not a job. I'm a traveling preacher.
I guess it was back then. I don't
You
know.
just roam around.
I guess you do like guest spots at different churches.
Hi, I'm a traveling preacher. Can I preach at you?
I think back in the day, maybe it was like there's
Yeah.
traveling salesmen, traveling preachers. He was known to have some sort of mental illness. It just seemed like there was a lot going on with this guy, and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And his presence at the Children's Day at the church that the Moore family attended the day before they were killed set off alarm bells. So this guy from out of town is here all of a sudden. Then this family is killed overnight, and he's left town before the bodies are found.
Right.
So he was in town for like a day or something. So that's already weird. So he was kind of on their mind, I guess. Then over the next few weeks after the murders, he kept writing letters to the police, the investigators, and even the Moore and Stillinger families. And he just seemed to be kind of obsessed with the case. Obviously, that made the police more suspicious, so they wrote back to him asking for anything he might know about the case. And he wrote back in great detail, and he said he heard sounds and that maybe he was even a witness in some way. And the police, like, he was known to have mental illness, so they didn't totally know what to make of it, but obviously that's very
Yeah, you've got to
suspicious.
investigate
Yeah,
that. You don't-
totally.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what happened for 2 years, but 2 years later in 1914, he was arrested. He was sent to the National Mental Hospital in D.C. for sending obscene material through the mail. He was sexually harassing somebody who was trying to get hired as his secretary. And that put him back on investigators' radar, leading them to speculate that he could have committed the murders as well. So in 1917, 3 years later, they arrested him and he confessed. And he also confessed in court, but the jury didn't believe him. And he later recanted.
Okay.
So he was eventually acquitted. I take this to mean that this guy was like exhibiting very obvious signs of mental illness or something. Like I
Yeah.
almost wonder if it's kind of like, God, was it John Mark Carr, the guy who confessed to killing John Benet Ramsey?
Oh, I don't know.
And yeah, and didn't. But
Well,
he just
yeah,
kind of
there-
wanted to be part of the case.
There are tons of, like, I'm a big fan, so were you, of the movie Zodiac. And one of the big things that gets mentioned in that movie is that they're getting countless calls from people claiming to be the Zodiac.
Right.
Think of all of the weirdos that just surround a big case.
Yeah.
You know, like, they've got this horrific murder. What is it? 6 people were killed?
8,
8? 6 of them were
I
kids.
think. Yeah.
But you've got this horrific case that you can't solve, and you want to find the killer, but also there are these people that are hovering around the case
Right.
who are super weird and have, like, tons of baggage. Like, this guy's surrounded by a bunch of other axe murders. This guy's a traveling what?
Yeah.
Just, like, all this noise. There's so much noise around it.
Yeah, what a cast of characters. So, yeah, he was eventually acquitted, and I don't know what happened to him after that.
Wow.
And then the third camp, like I said, is seemingly people who think that it was somebody who is an unknown altogether. Somebody who kind of blew into town, killed the family, and left, and just isn't on anybody's radar, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are the 3 camps of major suspects, apparently. And now I just want to talk really quickly about the house and the deal with it today. So I went to this website, and it said that they offer both daytime and overnight tours, except for daytime tours are closed for the season right now. But it's not like a bed and breakfast situation like we talked about with the Lizzie Borden house or other things. The site says to, quote, bring your sleeping bags and pillows, and they recommend to keep it to 10 or fewer people because above that amount, quote, the small house gets even smaller.
Oh.
So I would recommend you guys go to this website. It's villiscaiowa.com. It's really extensive. It has a ton of information. The history tab kind of like opens up when you hit it, and it has a ton of info. It's like nicely divided up. There's an evidence tab that just links you to a YouTube search for Villisca Axe Murder House, so you can check out tons of videos about it. And there's also a tab for a virtual tour.
Oh, my.
So I was like, oh, let me check this out. So I clicked on that, and it's from the outside. It's just a 360 video standing outside the Villisca Murder House of just the whole area and the neighborhood and everything from one spot.
Cool.
And it has somebody, like a man's voice going like, there was a murder that took place in the Villisca Murder House or whatever. And you can use arrows to go up, down, whatever. And it's hosted on a site called wolfcounselor.com. And I was like, what is this? And also, you know how on some websites there'll be there's a name for it that I can't remember, but it'll be like a little logo or something like that's on the tab on your computer.
Yeah. Like the icon.
Yeah, like a little icon. Okay, so glancing at the icon and traveling in the worlds that you and I travel in,
Yes.
I thought it was a Baphomet head.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, what is wolfcounselor.com that has this like devilish logo? So I went to the website, and then I looked closer, and it's like, okay, that's a wolf,
Right.
not a Baphomet. And it's a website that does like 3D panorama things. But I also recommend going to wolfcounselor.com and just checking it out because it's like very old.
Really?
Yes.
Excellent.
It's cool.
I've always wanted to do a VR tour of a house where you just are standing outside
Yeah,
the house.
you can see across the street from the house.
Oh, cool. I can see like the road. And I can look at this driveway.
So I wanted to know what was going on Wolf Counselor. I was like, what service is this?
What is this?
And it has like, I don't know. It's neither here nor there. It's like weird pictures of art on the website.
I bet they were pissed when Google Maps came along.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think it's been touched in a while.
There must be ghosts on Google Maps. Especially if they have self-driving cars going around places where there aren't typically people.
Oh, true.
Right? Think there's some spooky images on there?
Maybe.
Curious. I'm
yeah.
curious.
I'm gonna write that down and check out someday.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll pick it up from there.
Okay.
So you told us the history of the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to dive into some of the paranormal events seen through a prism primarily of a couple of shows. You had recommended that I look up a show I had never heard of before called Kindred Spirits, which is also on the Travel Channel.
Right. I told you the Travel Channel is just ghost shows now, basically.
It's just ghost shows. Got room for one more?
I think, yeah, seriously, Ghost Boy.
Ghost Boy.
And then when Ghost Boy gets canceled, Ghost Girl, and I will graciously have Ghost Boy on.
2 shows, Ghost Boy and Ghost Girl, and there are crossover episodes, and we've got our own Marvel universe of ghost shows.
Oh, now you're willing to let me in on this.
If there's that sweet, sweet dinero in it.
All right.
Yeah, Ghost
All
Boy's
right.
Ghost Boy's got to get his beak wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. So I watched a little bit of Kindred Spirits, which again I had never
I've never
of
seen it
in
before.
my life.
I came across it when I was doing the research to divvy things up. They were part of Haunted Salem Live, that team.
Oh, okay.
Which, you know, I watched 4 hours of and loved, but I've never actually watched the show.
4 hours. Well, evidently they were part of the original Ghost Hunters show, and now they have this series. So here's how the story sort of like kicks off, their episode at least. They have a friend named John Worley. John Worley had done a paranormal investigation of the Villisca Axe Murder House. And then John Worley comes on the show and says, the EVP said, just kill John Worley. That's me.
What?
Like that.
It's me.
And I'm John Worley. So basically, the idea now is they're going to the house not to solve the old murder that remains unsolved to this day. They are going there to find out who in that house is such a mischief maker that they'd want to get their friend John Worley.
Okay.
It's bizarre.
Okay.
They say that they go into the house and they try to be kind to the spirits. But then when they realized that they were dealing with an evil spirit in the house,
They gotta get tough.
they took a different tact.
So they're not being kind-rid spirits anymore. They're being mean-rid spirits.
Mean-drid spirits. And so they get a little feistier, saying, we're onto your trick. The party is going to stop. And then they get an EVP.
Oh.
And they listen back to it, and it says, F you. A ghost said, fudge you. Kindred
funny.
spirits. What a simple, perhaps overly
point.
simple thing for a ghost to say to somebody. Hey, fudge you.
Look, if I was a ghost and somebody's messing with me, I might be as simple as F you.
We're onto your trick. The party is going to hey, fudge you.
Look, if somebody said that to
Ghost
you in
says
the
that.
afterlife, you'd be like, this is so dramatic. I might just be like, F you.
Can you just shut up and get out of here?
Right, like I don't even feel like engaging with this.
Ghost Adventures was here like a few years ago. People constantly show up and sleep here and try to talk to me.
In sleeping bags.
Can you guys just fudge off?
Right,
Can you
exactly.
just fudge off
I know
and
it's
leave me
simple,
alone?
but sometimes simple is all the more hurtful for
Yes. Honestly,
not putting the effort in.
let's say that there is a demon in there that is responsible for killing a bunch of people 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Could they have been so beaten down and worn out by all this attention?
They're just over it.
They're just not even evil anymore. They're just like, oh my
my
God,
God,
this is
F
hell.
you.
Like being tormented
Yeah.
by people coming in and constantly just fudge off.
Right.
Get out of my house.
Truly.
I shouldn't have killed those people.
All the time is different
I
for them.
wish I hadn't killed those people 100 years ago.
It's really coming back to bite me.
Yeah, it's really coming back to roost. They say that the first night that they went there, they got almost nothing.
Okay.
Which again, I know it's a trope of ghost shows, but I always enjoy it when they give the counter argument. They're
Yes.
like, I couldn't believe it. We got like nothing the first time we were here. Now, the last thing that I'll say about Kindred Spirits, I didn't watch the full episode. I've got a lot to say about Zak Bagan's. They bring in Chip Coffee.
There he is. There's my. Oh my God, William! I meant to send this to you today, and then I got caught doing work. Chip Coffee went to some event last night where Martha Stewart was there and other people. Where I was like, "What a dream!"
Huh.
Chip Coffee and Martha Stewart
You have to
together.
set,
I
like,
would lose my mind.
You have to set like a Google alert for Chip Coffee and Martha Stewart.
Yeah, truly.
If they're ever in the same place at the same time again.
Maybe they're close.
Maybe. Are there ghost events?
Actually, yes, first of all, yes. I happen to know that the Kindred Spirit people run like a haunted travel agency, which is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay. So Chip Coffee shows up and they have him sitting in shadow. And he's
I love Chip Coffee.
Chip Coffee, I don't know if we've ever talked about him on the show.
Go ahead.
We may have.
Yeah.
Chip Coffee is like a psychic, right? I think he was on Paranormal University or whatever the hell. Paranormal State, that show.
Yep.
And he was like a mainstay on that show. He's got a hilarious voice. He's just got a lot of energy. He's got like a lot of like that good spooky energy. Where he's like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's like he's always taken aback. He's always in complete shock about what
Or
he's experiencing.
says something in a very matter-of-fact way that's horrifying. He'll be like, can I tell you what they said? They said they want the girl. And you're like, whoa!
Whoa, Chip. Whoa, I wasn't ready. Chip. So he says that the spirit there is laughing, and then he goes like, he's like laughing at us. And it was like a panting like a dog thing. Now I only bring that up. Ignore that I brought that up. I'm sure it won't come back. So let's jump over.
That something like that happens in Ghost Adventures?
Something like that happens in Ghost Adventures. I was kind
Validity.
This is confirmation of paranormal activity. Try to. Ghosts are real. Change my mind.
Oh my God. All right,
This
go
is
ahead.
proof of ghosts. Change my mind. That meme. All right. So on Ghost Adventures, it's season 4, episode 13, by the way. So that means that it was like 45 seasons ago.
Right. Yeah, they're on like season 18 or something.
This is the show. I was very excited when I saw this. I'm a big fan of the group Red Letter Media on YouTube, and they did. We watched a review they made of that movie Demon House.
Yep.
And they play a clip because they're talking about Zak Bagan's and whether or not he's a fraud. And then they start making fun of him because he's got kind of like a dude bro vibe. And they play a clip from Ghost Adventures of Zak Bagan's lying on the floor, and he has propped an axe
Oh my God, that's right.
next to himself, and he's shouting to nothing. He's in the dark. It's night vision. And so there's this axe that's just propped next to his head, and he goes, do you want to keep killing? Push that axe on my face. He's challenging a ghost. He's challenging a ghost to kill him.
Yes.
So this is that episode. I was so excited
That's awesome.
when I learned that
I'll have
I'd
to
get
watch
to
this.
see where this came from. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So it's older, right? The production is so cheesy. It
Okay.
is so corny.
Okay.
They keep doing these like shots of the Villisca Axe Murder House as if it's the Amityville Horror House. And they keep using like swishes and like thuds of an axe chopping into something for transitions between things.
Yeah.
So it'll just constantly be like footage of Zak Bagan standing in front of the house with an axe in the ground, a bunch of chopping sounds. Then it's Aaron posing with the axe, and it's just so much.
That's awesome.
So
that
dorky.
sounds great.
Zak Bagans doesn't have to wear glasses yet because the demon house didn't break.
Hasn't stolen his vision.
It hasn't stolen his vision yet. And his hair is, oh my God, what a great era.
What's his hair like?
His hair on the sides is combed only forward.
Okay.
Only
I've
faux
seen this.
hawk.
Yeah.
Faux hawk, and then sides of the head combed exactly forward, so it's like jutting out next to his eyes.
Yeah.
It's crazy looking.
Excellent.
It's such a specific time period. Anyway, I sort of have like a blow-by-blow of things that happen in the episode.
By all means.
He goes to a former detective named Roy to get sort of a history of the house and try to understand some of the background of it before he goes in to do his ghost adventuring stuff. The former detective brings up the guy you were just talking about who had confessed to the crime, and Zak Bagans is like, he's like, well, it was an unsolved murder. He goes, well, his confession was, incredibly graphic. And he goes, Zak Bagans goes, what? He confessed? And he looks off camera to like his buddies and producers like, why didn't I flippin' know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He confessed? It's like the worst interview I've ever seen in my life. Zak Bagans is sitting next to this like kind old man in a courthouse. It's just the absolute worst interview. He's like, well, I'm going to solve it. And the detective will be like, well, I hope that you do. He's like, well, I will. He's like, well, I hope to see that. He's like, can't wait. Like, it's just like they're
Just
so...
let him have the last word.
They're disconnected,
Yeah.
and Zak Bagans is too much. It's
awesome.
all right. So Zak Bagans goes to a town museum nearby where he gets the axe.
Oh.
They supposedly have the Max.
Yeah.
They have the axe on display in this museum, and Zak Bagans takes it to take it to the house, and
Okay.
he's like wielding it. He's like, so this is the axe?
Does he feel rage?
He never says he feels rage.
Okay.
Nor does he ever get possessed. I was shocked.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that because that happens in almost every episode in modern day.
Yes, he feels rage. He's very open with his emotions.
He's very in touch with his emotions.
Yeah.
I will say, I like him.
I
We're making fun of him and everything, and I'm there too, but I've developed a genuine affection.
I'm really growing to genuinely like him.
Yeah, I told you.
Makes
he's
me
great.
laugh. I saw a video he posted on Twitter today where he was like pointing at his dog lying on a bunch of bags like, what are you doing? What is my dog doing? And I was like, he's just a normal person.
He's incredibly charming. Yeah. And also in some of these past episodes, he doesn't quite have... So, like, I think in a way he's playing a character. I don't think it's to the point where I'm like, this is a totally different person or anything, but I think he amps up things about himself for, like, most episodes of Ghost Adventures. There are some older episodes I've seen where his voice isn't doing this. It's, like, just kind of a normal voice.
Yeah.
I have to think that he, like... I bet he thinks it's like kind of funny. I think he has enough self-awareness to know it's a little ridiculous.
Yes, there is a moment even in this show where they go into a little girl's bedroom and there's like a stuffed clown doll.
Yeah.
And he's talking to somebody who used to live in the house, and then he just stops talking to them. He's like, if this thing comes to life and starts running at us, I'm out of here. I'm going to jump out that window.
Yeah.
And I was like, mildly, it wasn't funny, but it was just like a playful moment.
He's showing that he can be a little playful.
And then he covers the clown's face with like this like little dress that's in the room. He's like, we just need to cover that. I can't look at that anymore. Just like a moment of being, I don't know.
I think he's
not
probably,
super self-serious.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's probably more like that in real life.
He'd have to be.
I think so. I think there are people who aren't like that though, Will. I think there are people who like think that they're like all dark and everything, or I guess they are. But just the vibe I get from him is that he does like this stuff that's all genuine, but I think he knows he's being a little ridiculous and silly.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I agree with you.
Yeah. All right.
So,
anyway, I just want to say, I really like this man.
He speaks to other paranormal investigators who live in the area. One of them lives completely like right next door to the house. They all look like paranormal investigators.
That's awesome.
Just want to state that for the record. You would know.
Yeah. It's not a huge shocker.
It's not a huge shock. There's someone who claims that he demanded the spirit in the house to reveal its name. Mm-hmm. And it said it. Legion.
Oh my God.
I can't think of anything less original. Listen, if that's what the demon said to you, that's what the demon said to you.
Right, exactly. I mean,
But at the same, how many Legion things are there?
I know.
Everything's I'm not scared by Legion anymore.
Yeah. But then again, Will, maybe Legion comes up so much because they are Legion.
Maybe. Get
You know
more
what I mean?
original demons.
Yeah.
If demons are watching this, and I know they are,
Like
come up with something more original.
By its very definition, it's a lot.
I guess. There's a lot of us.
Yeah.
There's a paranormal investigator named Chris Deadman.
Oh, my God.
Deadman.
Man.
Who,
Good for him.
When they were leaving one time, he got the wind knocked out of him. He could barely move. He hurt his back. They lifted his shirt. Scratches on his back.
Don't tell me.
Down and to the side.
Oh.
An L.
An L
An
for
L.
Legion.
The L is in Legion too. The investigator who lived next door at one point said that he felt like his work was following him home. Mm-hmm. I started noticing a trend in the way that Zak Bagan interviews people.
Okay.
He'll just say like, "Did you feel like there was an entity following you?" Mm-hmm. What are they going to do? Go like, "No, I thought it was fine,
Yeah,
but I was
just
just
ask,
like
like,
I was just
leading
kind of
questions.
enjoyed doing ghost hunting."
Yeah.
They all have to go like, "Yeah, yes, a spirit attached itself to me."
Yeah.
Like if you want to be part of the party.
Right.
Zak Bagans is giving you a question where the only answer
He's
is
helping you out.
he's helping you
frankly,
out.
yeah.
So he says that he felt like his work was following him home, and that once it started coming at his family and his daughter, no,
Yeah.
he had to fight back.
What do you do?
I'm not sure if he did much of anything. I don't know. He just said he had to fight back. So I guess he
Okay.
did. Presumably he did.
Sometimes fighting back is taking a step back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
he
maybe
probably
he just stopped. Yeah.
All right. So now Zak Bagans is in the house and he starts talking to the ghosts. We've talked about this before.
In an aggressive manner, I imagine.
Of course. It's always this thing of like, we're the little guy and we're all afraid of ghosts, but Zak Bagans is the one who's willing to stand up.
Yeah.
One of the first things he says, he's sitting in that little girl's room. He's sitting on the bed and he goes, "Will you show us your power? We'll show you respect if you show us respect."
I mean, that's a good way to go into it. Maybe
guess.
not will you show us your power, but
I don't know. It seemed aggressive to me. Like
Sounds pretty aggressive,
You'd better
but-
show me respect if you want to get respect. Is like
oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm thinking
a
like,
weird way to come at a ghost.
yeah, okay. I guess I was filtering it through my own thing, which is like, okay, I respect you, you respect me, but you're right, probably didn't say it like that.
Does a demon care if you respect it?
Who know? You know, he would know better than I would. So
I'll
go
assume-
with his expertise.
I assume demons are like have a very long life span to the
Mm-hmm.
point that Zak Bagans is like a tsetse fly.
yeah.
What do I care if you respect me? You'll be dead before
Maybe
I know
they
it.
live by a code of honor.
I don't think
They're
they do.
ancient creatures.
They're demons.
That's true,
A
they're
code of
demons.
honor. Zak Bagans asks a guy. Oh, so they. Okay. So he's in the little girl's bedroom, and then of course they're just like, "So what do you think? What was that?" Like they
Yeah.
start like reacting all big to something that we didn't see or hear.
Yeah.
And they claim that the closet door closed on its own.
Okay.
But then Zak Bagans opens the closet door like all slow, like peek inside as if he's going to see a ghost or a demon in there.
So nothing here.
And he stops the door. He like opens it ajar a little bit and leaves it there. And he goes, "The door, it won't close on its own." And I was like, "Is this? What?
Huh?
You're trying to say that like a ghost will close this right
Yeah.
now or something?" And he was like, "That's just evidence to show that this kind of door doesn't close on its own. So how did
okay.
it close before?" Like,
Oh, all
it's
right.
like weird
Kind of gentle.
logic out of order.
Yeah.
And then he asks the other guy he stands into the closet and sits down and starts basically like rubbing his temples. Like, what the hell's going on here? And then asks them to close the door on him.
Uh-huh.
And he just sits in there for a little while.
What is he, me as a kid?
Yeah, I guess so.
I used to read books in the closet.
And he sits in the closet for a little bit, and then at a certain point just opens the door and comes back out and says to his crew, "You guys ready to play?"
Oh. Oh, what did he learn in there that made him come out with that kind of attitude?
Nothing.
Okay.
I think he was just done with that part.
Well, we're done with that part.
He starts talking to two women who used to live in the house, and at one point, one of them is like, "Well, this is his house," and he goes, "Whose house is it?" And she goes, "His house, the guy that did the murder." It's like, it makes it sound like she forgot,
Yeah, right.
like what the circumstances were. Whatever. These women he speaks to, he's kind of like, he says things to them that are kind of not chill, I think. He like asks both of them, and they're like middle-aged now. He says to them like, is there a part of you that feels like his work's not done and he's going to try to get you?
Ugh.
And one of the women at a certain point is like, I have to sit down. And you can see on camera that she's sweating. And she says that she doesn't feel well and she's lightheaded and stuff. And Zak Bagan keeps talking to her about ghosts and whether or not the house is done with her. What the hell? You just leave this lady alone? I guess at the same rate, you know, she agreed to be on this show and I don't.
Yeah, but maybe go a little easier on her. It seems like you're stressing her out. She's showing physical signs of distress.
Just seemed like a lot. Just seemed like quite a bit.
Oh, dear.
They bring that detective guy, Roy, back. Now, they are treating Roy, and I kind of enjoyed this. Roy is like he is essentially, for the show's purposes, playing the role of the cynic, the skeptic. He made a comment earlier. He says something to the effect of like, Zak Bagan's like, we're going to try to get some EVPs, and I hope they're going to stand up to scrutiny or whatever. And Roy goes, well, if I don't believe in it, I'm going to tell you so.
Okay.
And Zak goes, good, that's what we want. That's what we want to hear. So when they bring Roy to the house, they take him through every part of the process. They show footage of Zak describing to Roy, like, here's a recorder. This is a voice recorder. You can see there's nothing already stored on here. The folders are all empty. There are no files already recorded onto this. I'm going to hit record, and we're going to listen. And if we hear something, we're going to mark it. Because I don't want the sound of footsteps getting mixed in there and being treated like it's evidence when it's not evidence.
Right.
So if you feel like you heard something that is not admissible as evidence, make sure you mark it and tell us.
Okay.
So that we know later on.
Fair.
To dismiss that sound. And I enjoyed that. And they start doing something that I also enjoyed. They show Zak Bagan and Roy standing basically shoulder to shoulder with this recorder. And then they'll do like a little fast motion thing. And at the bottom, it'll say no EVPs for 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And so they're like showing that they did like hours and hours of standing around in this house.
Right.
Before they cut to clips. And then at a certain point, they're like, all right, well, let's analyze some of these clips. And they call for their friend Nick, I think, or Bill Tolley or someone.
Okay.
To let them out. And Roy goes, you mean we've been locked in? He didn't know that they were doing a lock-in.
That's funny.
He had no idea that they'd been locked into the house
that he
for a
wasn't
while.
free to leave at any time.
Yeah. And then, okay. So they got 4 EVPs. And the fourth one is something that Zak Bagan says, it was here during our 4th session when we captured something that would even question our skeptic.
Okay. Not the best.
And that made it through to the final cut.
Right.
That sentence doesn't make sense.
No.
It would even, question our skeptic. What he's saying is...
Yeah, it'd make his skeptic question it. Maybe.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I was kind of shocked that made it through, to be honest, but whatever. So they bring Roy in to do the audio analysis as well. They've set up in the barn beside the house to do analysis of the audio that they've taken. And Roy confirms, he goes, it's a sound I did not hear while I was in there.
Yeah.
And they're listening, and like amongst the audio that like they're talking or whatever the hell, there's a sound. It's like, like, what is that? Get a little closer. It could be anything. And Roy, I'm watching this guy, this former detective, sitting there like, yeah, I don't know where that sound came from. I did not notice that when we were in there. And he's completely kind of thrown. And then Bill Tolley or someone starts going, I killed.
Oh, God.
I killed. And he's just basically picking words that fit those rhythms.
Right,
so
that
he's
fit
like,
the syllables. Yeah.
I killed. I killed. This is crazy. And then at one point, Roy, the former detective, goes, I don't know what that is. I can't understand that. Could be someone with an axe or someone with asthma. What he's saying is, it sounds like noise.
Right.
It sounds like somebody breathing. Is what Roy is saying. Okay. Then they bring in the paranormal investigators they had met with a long time ago, Chris Deadman or whatever his name is. And they come in and listen to it, and they go, I killed. So they pick the same first 2 words, and I start going like, is this clever editing? And they already knew that the team had decided that it's saying I killed blank,
or are they
blank.
like hearing that?
Are they also hearing it? In which case, it's almost evidence.
Yeah, right.
If two different groups with no prompting both say the first two sounds are "I killed,"
Yeah.
then that's actually kind of inexplicable.
Yeah, it's like a little compelling.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
And then they decide that it said "I killed 6 kids." They just fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I can't believe he said that.
I can't believe I can't believe a ghost.
Yeah.
I can't believe definitely a ghost definitely said I killed 6 kids on our EVP."
Right.
And Zach comes in and is like, "It was crazy. It was undeniable." And even in the words of our private investigator friend, and then they cut back to what Roy said and he goes, "Sounds like, I don't know, someone with an axe." And then they go like, poof, as if that's like,
Yeah, conclusive.
that's like the smoking gun.
Yeah, right. Like a skeptic said that.
When but the original context of Roy saying it was,
And they showed the original context.
they
which is
showed
very
the original
weird.
context of him going like, I don't know, it sounded like someone with asthma or someone with an axe.
Yeah.
And then they replayed him saying it sounded like someone with an axe to be like, I killed 6 kids with someone with an axe.
Weird.
My mind is blown.
Yeah.
It was absolute straight bonkies. Okay.
So whether they were like telling on themselves too.
Yes, kind of. They exposed.
They already showed it.
Well, we talked about something somewhat recently where like I really got invested in this idea of the communal improv of listening to EVPs, of just hearing like, ha 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 ha, and then you just go around, you do a round robin around the table.
Yeah.
How about I killed?
Yeah,
Yeah. I killed. Well, he killed 6 kids.
Like
Yeah,
playing telephone.
I killed 6 kids. It could just as easily be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
I want cheeseburger. It could be anything.
Right.
But now the group has decided that it was I killed 6 kids, and so now it's a fact.
Yeah.
Basically, the remainder of the episode is all EVPs. Oof. They also claim that they got footage of a poltergeist.
Okay.
While they're investigating the EVP sound, they have footage of a door closing on its own upstairs, where the killer is said to have been waiting.
My God, get your finger out of my face.
Woo, woo, woo.
Where does the dog panting come into it?
Okay. All right, fine. I'll jump ahead a little bit. So they do a bunch of EVP stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, let me say this because I kind of called it
Go
out
for it.
earlier in the episode. They have the spirit box now. So the spirit box is that thing where you can talk to it and then you'll hear actual words being pulled from like radio broadcasts.
Right.
So at one point they go, "Tell us what your name is." And the spirit box goes, "Lena,"
Okay.
which is one of the kids. Another time it goes, "Paul," which is one of the kids. It says, "Wanna play?" They demand to know what the name is of the entity. And a voice, an adult's voice now, not a child's voice, says, "Everyone's fine." Zach does not feel good about it, and at a certain point he asks what the murderer's name is, and it reports back, Andy. Andy Sawyer was another suspect of the killings way back when. At one point, he was seen to have said to somebody, "I will cut your GD heads off."
Oh.
So another whacktastic person.
Yeah.
Here's where the dog panting, laughing thing comes in. Zach has decided to finally confront the entity. He takes the axe and he goes upstairs. You know, this is like a target object. The axe is supposed to kick up some dust with the ghosts.
Yeah.
He's climbing the stairs with the axe going, "Is this what you want?" He's screaming into an empty house. "Is this what you want? Is this where you hid the night that you brutally killed this family? Is this the axe that you used to kill 8 people?" And then voiceover Zach goes, "Just then, the recorder catches the sound of someone laughing at my question." So it's two
They're
things.
laughing at the delivery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It might be the ghost. Maybe there's been no ghost all this time.
Right.
Maybe none of this is real, but there is a ghost that's in the house and is immune to all this stuff. But then they hear Zak Bagan sound like a major dork.
Yeah.
And
They're like, this
accidentally
is
give
over
it
the
up.
top.
Like,
Yeah.
is this the axe? Like proclaiming into the house.
Yeah.
But Chip Coffee, the sound that they play, it's like an EVP style, like,
Yeah.
and that's basically what Chip Coffee did.
Weird. That's weird.
It's weird.
Interesting.
But they're both Travel Channel shows.
Right. Totally.
So is Chip Coffee familiar with the Ghost Adventures show?
I'm sure.
Season 4. Truly, they're on like season like 18 right now or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So this was a long time ago.
Right.
I assume they do 2 seasons a year. So it was probably long enough ago for Kindred Spirits, which I believe is a contemporary show,
Yes.
only in its 3rd season now, to have seen it and do something with it to create sort of a woven in
Yeah.
continuity.
Yeah, could be.
But I thought it was interesting,
Still
and I thought it was
interesting.
worth pointing out. So now we get to the real ultimate moment of Zak Bagan's propping up an axe and then lying down on the floor next to it. You want to do more killing? He says, you want to keep killing? Push this axe on my face.
That's why with a lot of confidence that this ghost isn't going to show itself.
Correct. That was the thing that I found more telling than anything else. Zak Bagans doesn't believe. Otherwise, why would he put himself in a position to be hurt
Yeah, absolutely.
by a ghost?
Yeah, you're pretty damn sure it's not going to happen.
It's a pretty big way to go to prove that there's not a ghost there.
Yeah, totally.
Somebody who was
Weird.
trying to disprove
A very weird move.
ghosts would do that. Not somebody trying to prove ghosts.
I know.
It just was an extreme thing to do and put in a trailer.
Well, I don't know that he would say he's trying to prove ghosts. You know what I mean? I think he's investigating them. I think that's a big thing that a lot of, and I'm not saying it's BS, but I think that's a big thing that a lot of paranormal investigators point out is that they're debunking first.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
so,
true. But people say that, but then they also have a career where the career is
Yes.
ghosts.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
I'm very, very torn.
It's a weird move.
It's a weird move.
So I guess it doesn't happen.
It's kind of amazing that the show can survive going that ridiculous. I would imagine
It's fine.
that if more people were paying, and I'm sure a lot of people are paying attention, but I'm saying like, you know, like there's a difference between like things that are mainstream and doing just fine and things that are mainstream and everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
If that moment went viral or something of Zak Bagans begging a ghost to push an axe on his face,
Right.
if that moment went viral and people are like, who would do this? I would imagine that the show would maybe like get a bunch of attention for a while and then that pop of activity would make it go away. It's too silly.
It's very silly,
so
but
silly.
I think that also a lot of people might, well, maybe not a lot of people, but I bet some people see that and their thought isn't, wow, this guy doesn't believe in ghosts, because why would you do that? I think some people are like, this guy is that crazy
Yeah.
that he'll try to trigger a ghost in this way.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
so extreme.
Right.
So here are some more EVPs just to get to the end. They ask, Nick, while Zak is begging for an axe to hit his face, Nick gets an EVP in the hall saying, we're going to keep them in the dark.
Oh.
So maybe that's Legion saying that about the children spirits.
Or not giving the team information. We're going to keep them in the dark on this.
Right. Zak goes, why'd you kill these children? Because they don't step in heaven yet.
Oh.
Is the answer. I don't know what the hell that means.
Okay.
Zak goes, you're not supposed to kill children. Like,
Or
you're
anyone?
not supposed to kill anyone,
Yeah.
Zak. You're also not supposed to kill children, but like, what a weird statement.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to kill children.
Right.
You're the devil. You're a sinner. And then the EVP goes, you're going to give up blood. Then push the axe.
Yeah.
Push the axe, bro.
Yeah. A lot of talk.
Meanwhile, by the way, Aaron is in the basement
Uh-huh.
because he insists that if the bad guy's upstairs, then probably the children are hiding in the basement, which
Okay.
seems loose.
Okay. Well, you know.
But at one point, Aaron says to the children ghosts, can you guys tell me who hacked you up with an axe?
That's a little indelicate, don't you think?
Try a Boo Buddy Jr. next time.
Yeah,
Aaron.
seriously.
Get it
God.
together.
To kids like that?
Yeah. Evidently,
Again, or anybody.
anybody.
But still, kids, come on.
So it's said that it's difficult to investigate that house because there are both good spirits and bad spirits. But there's also an EVP at one point that says, Herman's going to get you.
Oh,
Herman was a child in the house.
okay.
And also Nick heard toys moving around. Nick also lies down in one of the kids' beds and asks, what church were you at before you came home? And an EVP goes, it's a gathering place.
Oh.
And then they say that their motion-activated camera spotted mist behind Nick. And I was kind of like, how does this show come to a finale?
Yeah.
Like, what is the crescendo moment? I would think it would be the axe, but they keep kind of going.
I think they just go until time's up.
You would think that Zak could just kind of go like, I was lucky to get out of there with my head in
Yeah, it's weird that you wouldn't use that as...
use that as your out point.
Yeah.
But then it just kind of goes away, and then when it comes back, it's just Zak over the credits going like, the Villisca Murder House is one of the most mysterious places on Earth. And it's
Right.
like, oh, we're done. But
Yeah.
so
They don't
what you
come
just said
to-
is right. They just go until they're out of time.
Yeah, totally. They don't come to like a conclusion. There's not like an arc, like a fictional thing. It's
Sometimes real life is trickier.
Yeah.
Which is why the final thing that I will share with you, we're now done with ghost adventures and done with kindred spirits. I will share with you some things from real life because I looked on Google for reviews from people who have gone to the Villisca Murder House to
Great.
get an idea from the people what they're experiencing. What is it like for the average Joe to go to the Villisca Murder House?
Right.
Because you and I are nothing if not average Joes.
That's right.
So, Tabitha Blades, 5 months ago, wrote, "Cool idea for a tourist trap, but the tour guide was bored and the owner, Martha, was excessively rude. There is a common thread in all these reviews that Martha is a real no good.
Oh, no.
She's rude to people. She, like, at one point, a guy's trying to get shirts out of the gift shop, and they didn't have his size on the rack, but there's, like, a bunch of folded shirts beneath the rack. So he goes looking through those, and she goes, "You better not be unfolding those." She's like, Martha's constantly giving people guff. So,
Martha's a rude dude with a crude dude.
totally. We were happy to pay the entrance fee, but when we gave her a $100 bill, she was mad because we'd be taking all her change. I managed to scrape up enough to pay her in ones and fives, but when I handed her $2, she said she wouldn't accept that either. Really? I'm trying to give you money, Martha.
That's really funny.
1 star. 1 star review. Here's another 1 star review from Caitlin Weiss. Couldn't believe they posted this online. Couldn't believe it. Don't blame me. This is a Google review of the Villisca Murder House.
Okay.
6 months ago. They threatened to sue us for clogging the toilet. One of us pooped and there was no plugger. And since that was
Sounds like there was a plugger.
and since that was the only toilet, we kept using it. 1 star for the Villisca Murder House from Caitlin Weiss 6 months ago, who clogged the toilet
Wait, and they
and
sued
kept
her?
using it. And then I guess Martha threatened to sue her because it clogged the sewer. The whole sewer.
That's amazing.
Clogged the entire sewer. It's inexplicable. Had to be ghostly activity. Never heard of such a thing. Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay. Now, 5-star review
Oh, good.
from Lori Knoll 23 hours ago.
Oh, great.
This is very recent. I have been to a lot of places like this in the past, but this one is the real deal. I'm certain some negative energy, not an entity, latched onto me during this visit. I can't stop thinking about it, dreaming about it, and having visions as if I was there as a victim. I could really feel the life and death of this place. The second we walked into the parlor, I felt the heavy negative energy. It made it hard to breathe, and I felt nauseous. This is the first time in my life I have ever experienced that. I have heard it said about heaviness of a place and negative energy, but didn't know what it meant until this visit. I have literally now experienced that. If anything else, the furniture and decor, which set the stage of the era, was neat to see. My regret is that I didn't have an actual tour with a guide to fill me in on the story. There's also a common thread in these reviews of the tour guides being short to the point and not having much info.
Well, maybe it's good that she didn't get a tour.
Maybe. When I first went there, I had no clue of this story as my sister surprised me with the trip. When we arrived, it was 20 or so minutes past closing. I live in Kentucky, so the lady working there said for the reason of me living so far away that we could take a quick peek inside on our own, but we could not have a tour. So for half the price, we went in and looked around. This was very kind of her to do. There was a group of paranormal investigators there to spend the night, and they stepped aside for us, which was also appreciated. This is really a must-see. It hits the creep factor as an 11 on a scale of 10. And a thank you to the couple who bought this house years ago and saved it from demolition. This is history, education, and entertainment rolled into one, an experience I will probably never forget. 5 stars.
Very nice.
There's a chance she will forget it.
Or not, because an entity has attached itself to her, or an energy
Yeah.
that won't let her forget.
I know. I find that interesting.
Yeah.
Saying the heaviness and couldn't breathe made me think of that one guy who said that he couldn't breathe and he got the L scratched into his
Oh,
back.
right. Yeah.
But there you go. The Villisca Murder House. Is there a spirit there that creates a heaviness around you? Martha?
Martha.
And could you please take it easy on the people coming in for the tour?
They're excited to be there.
Hachi Machi.
Oy, oy, oy. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Guide to the Unknown. We will be back for you next week. But until then, please go and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever app you use to listen, on Facebook, whatever. Wherever you can leave us a 5-star review, it is super duper duper appreciated, because when people are cruising around looking for a show, like you probably do it too, they look at those and they want to listen to things that have good reviews. So help us get more people listening to the show that way.
I'll tell you what, we also enjoy reading them. They're very nice, and they always make me smile. Like this recent review from Becca's hubby, who said, "Amazing podcast. I look forward to this podcast every Friday. Will and Kristen are fun and such a lighthearted approach to the horror genre topics that they discuss. By far my favorite podcast."
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Becca's hubby. That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. So stuff like that is super appreciated. You can also go, as we mentioned, at patreon.com/GTTUpod, where we have a number of free bonus episodes up. Well, I guess they're not free. We have a number of bonus episodes up there already that you can check out, and more to come as long as you donate $4 or more per month to us to help keep this show going.
Yes. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yes, thank you
can
very,
also
very much.
Follow at GTTUpod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram throughout the week to get updates of spooky stuff from around the world, recommendations for things to check out, movies, news.
Yep.
You understand.
There's a lot of that in the Facebook group as well. So if you go to facebook.com/group/GTTUpod, people post that who listen to the show, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And if you like just the two of us, you can follow us online.
That's right. I'm at Chillin' Kristen on Instagram and Twitter.
I'm at The Myth Traveler. I recently posted something that I don't think people understood, and I was very proud of it.
Oh, the, what's it called? The comparison?
A comparison?
You thought somebody looked like somebody else? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Not that. Though people didn't like that either.
No.
I posted,
yeah, so follow Will. His Instagram's really on fire.
I'm crushing in my social media game. I did, I got a puzzle book from like the impulse buy at a grocery store. And I think I'm the youngest person to do that.
No, you know what? It's weird. I didn't comment or tell you or anything. Ryan and I walked around Barnes & Noble last week, which was really fun. And they had an Edgar Allan Poe themed puzzle book that I almost bought, but then I was like, meh.
Yo, it's fun.
It was funny that you posted that. Like, I had been thinking about it.
Yeah. So I got one from just like the local 5 and dime.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And I was doing it. And then one of the puzzles, the setup to it was like, can you solve this? Cryptic puzzle below? It's a quote that Andy Rooney said.
Yeah.
So I posted a picture of it on Instagram, and I said, I love these puzzle books. Some of them can go over my head. This one really stumped me, and I said spoiler in the second image.
Yeah.
And the second image is a screenshot of me Googling, who the hell is Andy Rooney?
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good joke. But I think people saw a picture of a puzzle and just scrolled right past it. I thought it was a good joke, damn it. It's going to go down in history as one of the best underrated jokes on Instagram.
You're going to be appreciated after your time.
Long after my time.
Long.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week to continue talking about spooky stuff of which we dare not speak.
Well,
we do speak.
Yes.
That's what makes us different. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld go we.
Bing.
Boom.
Bong.
Cool.
Bing.
Sweet.
What's going on? Personal Change
Martha
says, please do Christmas Ghosts, Kristen and Will.
Oh, okay.
I have something that I would like to talk about in the future.
Great.
Do you know what the Yule lads are?
I think we've talked about the Yule lads.
I think we've talked about them in like concept, but I want to talk about them with far more specificity. The Yule lads. What did you find out about a Yule cat, Al?
There's a Yule cat.
There's a Yule cat.
Oh, okay.
That's what I found.
Give someone a present of a piece of clothing before Christmas, then the Yule cat will come and poop on them or something.
Yeah, the Yule cat might poop on you.
Oh. What does the Yule Brenner do?
I don't know. I got to Google that too. I just know the name. Did you see that there's an R-rated Christmas Carol?
Oh, yeah, I posted about it.
You posted about it?
Yeah, it's like
Did
a
you watch
sexy
the trailer
Christmas
for
Carol.
it?
Yeah. No, thanks. I posted on our social media that Gimme Mups or Gimme Death.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Muppet Christmas Carol is the best Christmas Carol.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like Guy Pearce and Tom Hardy.
Yes. And at the end of the trailer, there's a woman that goes like, I will bring hell to you and yes, I fudgin' will. And I was like, oh, they're just saying the fudge word to really plant that they're hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just made it feel like a little Spencer-y to me. Spencer's gifts
Spencer's
to me.
Yeah.
Yule Lads, personal
All right,
changes
cool.
pumped about Yule Lads.
All right, good.
Mel liked my Andy Rooney joke.
Boy, Andy Rooney and Yul Brenner. We're really got our finger on the pulse.
Yeah, and there's nothing beating.
Yeah.
No heartbeat.
It's not moving.
No. All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much for hanging out.
Visit Yule Lads. Glad you like that person.
Hope that you had a good time. There was a
Thank you, Kelly.
a little blast off.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of your night, everybody. We'll talk again real soon.
All right.
All right.
Night, guys.
Adiosi.